I'm very happy today to introduce to you Maureen Burdock. She is a graphic novelist and integrative nutrition health coach. Her art and comics on health related topics have been exhibited and published globally. Graphic Monday Press published her graphic memoir, Queen of Snails, what an interesting name that is, in November of 2022. She's working on her third graphic novel, tentatively titled Sleepless Planet, a graphic guide to coping with insomnia. I think that's something I need to read. She lives in Santa Fe, New Mexico with her wife and a boxer dog. Congratulations, first of all, Maureen, for having your article, Five Effective Strategies for Mental Well-Being, published in Authority magazine. You have dealt with anxiety for decades. Can you tell us a bit about that history?
Oh, yeah. Thanks for the nice introduction, Nancy.
Oh, you're so welcome. There's
Yeah.
actually more I could have said.
Yeah, I experienced childhood trauma, which I talk about in my graphic memoir, The Queen of Snails. I have a little copy here so I can hold it up.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Queen of Snails. And
How did you
um,
come up with the title?
my grandmother, my paternal grandmother in Germany in the Black Forest, would always let me collect the snails from her garden, and I
Uh-huh.
would love playing with them. So she called me the Queen of Snails.
I see. So it's
So
kind of affectionate nickname.
it was an affectionate nickname. And then the book is about home and belonging after being displaced. So the snail is this metaphor throughout the book about home because, of course, the snail carries its own home on its back.
I see.
Yeah, so it carries that sense of home always with it. So that's why the title has kind of a double purpose, double meaning.
So can I read between the lines and ask you, has part of your healing journey been to create home within yourself or your own community?
Yes, definitely. Yeah, and I talk about that quite a bit in the book. It also has to do with connecting with my environment. So a lot of it for me has to do with connecting with the human world, with my human community and creating that, but also going out into the other than human world where other creatures live and feeling a sense of connectedness there too. I find that's really powerful.
I saw a picture in Authority magazine of you and your dog, and I was pretty sure it was a boxer. First dog my children and I fell in love with, was a boxer.
Really? Aw, yeah,
Yeah.
they're pretty special.
She had the unique ability of convincing each of us that she loved each of us separately the best. Like I was sure she loved me the best. My son was sure that she loved him the best.
Aw.
So you mentioned in your article that one of the beliefs you had to change is that rest is a luxury you can't afford. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I think for a long time I really defined myself by my productivity, and I've been working hard to unlearn that because I realized at a certain point it wasn't serving me, and I doubt that that really serves anybody much. I think it's a kind of a cultural construct too, that makes us feel like we must produce constantly or consume, and kind of lose ourselves in that, constant doing, and lose sight of actually being and enjoying our lives.
What a concept that is. I think when we're under that productivity model, it's never enough.
No, no, there is no enough. You either, are making something, making money, or buying something with the money that you just made. And yeah. There's
A lot
no.
of us who work at computers, you said, have sleep apnea. What does that mean?
Yeah, I was doing research for my book on sleep. It's also a graphic narrative about sleep. And I learned that people have what's been termed, it's been termed like computer apnea. And we tend to like, we'll open a slew of emails, so we'll see them there, and then we'll take a breath in, we'll go, and then we tend to hold our breath and forget to breathe out. And of course, the in breath kind of is the sympathetic nervous system, so it creates this anxiety, this fight or flight response. And it's in the out breath that we come back down and we come back into the parasympathetic, um, rest and digest way of being. So if we're chronically holding our breath, then we can develop hypertension and all kinds of problems. And I think there's a link. This is just my theory, but I think there's a link between not breathing right during the day and then not breathing right at night when we're trying to sleep. I think, that practice during the day of breathing properly must also translate to being able to breathe better at night.
So you're saying that shallow breathing becomes a habit, and then we carry that habit into our sleep hours and make it difficult to sleep soundly because we're triggering anxiety in our sleep?
I suspect that's true. Yeah, so many people now have sleep apnea. And of course, there's a number of reasons for it, but I think that's one of them, is that we're chronically stressed during the day and not breathing right, and then taking that with us.
I've had the pleasure of reading a lot of articles that you and others have sent into Authority Magazine about recovering from high anxiety, and almost every one of them talks about the importance of deep breathing.
Yeah.
Part of your childhood or recovering from your childhood trauma was writing a memoir about it. Why do you think writing about it was healing for you?
That's a great question. I think it's writing. For me, it was drawing it as well. And
Oh, of course.
the combination of writing and drawing is really powerful, because you're kind of reimagining yourself. So you're re-narrativizing your life. And for me, it was more profound than any therapy I've done. Because I could see myself in a really different light and in a really different context. And the book also links my own life to the lives of my relatives. So I'm looking at my mother's and grandmother's experiences, and then extending that all the way to larger historical and cultural strands. So I'm kind of really seeing myself as this, like one strand in a braid, and it really contextualizes everything. So yeah.
So you're reliving your memories, but with an adult mind, not just a child's perspective. And as an artist, I'm fascinated with your inclusion of art with your writing. It sounds like it was journaling, but a combination of writing and art. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's basically a what you would call a graphic novel, or like a comic. So
Yes.
everything is together. But yeah, I've been keeping visual journals since I was 8 years old. So this is, but this was also my PhD in cultural studies. They allowed me to do my dissertation this way.
Oh, wow, that's great.
Yeah, so I had a lot of support, and I had 7 years to really do deep research and really develop this the way that I wanted to develop it, which was lovely. Feel really fortunate.
Well, you've been plowing new ground, haven't you, in a field that normally, as far as dissertations are concerned, are pretty stuffy and very word heavy. But
Yeah.
how wonderful they let you do it with your particular talent.
Yeah, I feel really blessed I was able to do that. And I'm not alone. There's some others who have done this now. And Nick
Uh-huh.
Susanis had just finished his graphic dissertation. It was just published when I was starting. So it helped me a lot to have that to build on.
I find whenever I feel stuck in my head, I often do something creative and artistic to kind of unstuck my head. Um, what do you consider to be the most effective strategies you practice to reduce anxiety?
Mm. I think I have to say diet has a huge amount to do with it. I had no idea. I mean, I found all this out by doing research for this current book. And the first chapter is on breath. So I have it divided up by element. The first part is air. So it's about breath and breathing, which we were talking about. And then part two is fire, and it's metabolism. So I started looking at my overall health, and if your sleep is broken or if you're anxious all the time, then something else is also going on. And I learned that by changing my diet, I could reduce my anxiety. Just, it was profound how much my anxiety and my nighttime awakenings and even panic attacks at night, they just practically disappeared overnight by changing my diet.
It's so interesting that this was such a profound part of your healing. Um, I've been in the process of gradually changing my diet over the last few years, but the last year in particular, I've cut out sugar and flour. And it's amazing how much more energy I have and mental clarity.
Yeah,
And I am sleeping better.
amazing, right?
It really is amazing. I don't know, we Americans tend to have a pretty poor diet and then we complain about our health.
Yeah, yeah, and we don't even know. I mean, there's also been so much misinformation out there about what we
That's
should
true.
eat, consuming these vast quantities of carbohydrates. It's
Right.
been it's been on the recommended, the food pyramid now for decades that 60% of our calories are supposed to come from like bread and cereals and things like that. It's just really been a terrible idea, a failed experiment.
I go to a very holistic doctor that he has a completely different diet pyramid than the one that I grew up looking at.
Yeah.
So, how can viewers contact you?
Well, they can find me through my website, which is burdackwellness.com. Um, or they can just email me, and I have two emails. One is my art email, which is art@maureenburdock.com.
Okay.
And then coaching@burdackwellness.com, or is it Maureen at, oh my goodness. You can tell that this is a new website.
Okay. I have one website as maureenburdock.com and one as burdockwellness.com. Is there another one?
No, that's it. And the best email is just art@maureenburdock.com. Yeah,
Okay. Well, do you work with your wellness clients virtually?
I do. Yeah. I only work virtually, so I can take clients from just about anywhere. And I offer a free 45-minute discovery call to see
Okay.
if we can work well together.
Well, I hope there must be people that see this video or read your article that are having the same kind of symptoms you're talking about, and I hope they give you a call or send you an email. I really appreciate the light you are bringing to our world, Maureen, and I thank you for spending some time with me today. I especially thank you for being patient when we had trouble connecting there at the beginning.
No problem. No, it's been really a pleasure to talk with you, Nancy. Thank you.
My pleasure as well, and I wish you and your business and your new book the very, very best.
Thank you so much.